What if there was a way to earn money without ever needing to work again, without selling anything, without creating anything, without even lifting a finger? What if someone, ordinary in every way, stumbled upon a secret that could change the world or perhaps unravel it? At 28, she was a cashier at the corner grocery, her days a looping sequence of scan, bag, thank you. Bills piled in the till, a debt notice on her phone, a medical bill for her mother's chemotherapy. The world outside her window was grey and indifferent. Money seemed to be a distant, uncatchable thing, a concept only a few of her friends truly understood. Her apartment was dim, the hum of the fridge a constant companion. She stared at the wall, where a framed photo of her and her mother smiled back at her. "You can't get out of this, Maya," the picture seemed to say. The idea of getting out was the very definition of a dream, an abstract, intangible thing. The next morning the grocery was empty, a quiet after-hours shift. Maya's eyes caught a flyer on the counter, an online forum titled Hidden Currency, The Last Frontier. It was a thread with dozens of upvotes and a title that made her heart skip. A low-risk crypto asset that doesn't need mining rigs. She clicked. A message from an anonymous user named Echo Zero appeared. No GPU, no ASICs, just your phone's battery and a tiny algorithm that runs during sleep. The code is in the last post. It's a low risk, but it's real. Think of it as a hidden currency. The reply was cryptic, a string of characters that looked like a seed phrase. Maya frowned. She had heard about Bitcoin and Ethereum, the flashy, volatile markets. She had never heard of something that could be mined without hardware. Could it be a hoax? She thought. The idea of a low-risk, low-effort way to earn felt too good to be true. Yet, she kept the message open, her curiosity burning brighter than her fear. She decided to find out more. She scrolled through the forum searching for any mention of the hidden currency. A thread named Horizon Token, the forgotten asset, popped up. It mentioned a paper from 1970, a theory by an economist named Dr. Alistair Voss that predicted a stable digital currency tied to natural processes. The thread ended abruptly, as if the author had been silenced. The only clue left was an encrypted URL linking to a file that could not be opened. At that moment, Maya's phone buzzed. An email from an address she did not recognize. Lark and D. Subject: The Forgotten Asset. Midnight. My old lab. Her heart raced. She thought of the risks of meeting a stranger, but the desperation in her chest outweighed her caution. She replied, "Where?" She didn't have to wait long. A text appeared on her phone at 11:56 p.m. in the basement of the old miller's warehouse. "Come alone. Bring a flashlight." She did not remember ever seeing a basement in the old warehouse, but she did remember its graffiti, its smell of dust and metal. She told herself she was taking a chance. She got home, checked her phone, then, with trembling hands, walked to the old miller's warehouse. It was a long, dusty place, the kind that held forgotten tools and forgotten dreams. She slipped into the basement, the fluorescent lights flickering overhead. A man in a grey hoodie stood near an old computer terminal. A figure she felt like a ghost had stepped out of a newspaper headline. His face was obscured by the hood, but his eyes were sharp. "Who are you?" Maya asked, her voice echoing in the stale air. The man tilted his head, as if listening to the silence. "Dr. Larkin, I'm not here to give you a lecture, Maya. I'm here to show you something that could change everything." He gestured to the terminal. "There's a script. It runs on any smartphone. It extracts data from the phone's background processes. It's like mining, but instead of energy, it mines entropy." Maya stared at the screen. The code looked simple, a series of loops that called the phone's sensors during sleep mode. She watched as the script started. The terminal chimed and a line of code was highlighted. The man tapped a key and a new line appeared. Horizon Token 000C. She blinked. It was a small amount, a few cents worth of a new, invisible coin. Her mind raced. She had just mined a digital asset by turning on her phone. The thought of it was too strange, too simple. She felt a rush of excitement. The next day she tried the script on her own phone. She set it up, let it run in the night, and checked the balance in the morning. Her account had risen by 0.0201 Horizon tokens. She had earned a small sum without selling a single item or working a single hour. The sense of relief was overwhelming. She had something that did not need her to sacrifice time or effort. Over the next week, Maya experimented more. She let the script run in the background while she went about her daily routine. By the end of the week, her Horizon token balance had grown to 0.5. She felt like a magician pulling riches from the air. The world seemed to tilt a little in her favor. She stopped scrolling through the news about job layoffs. She turned her attention to a small, hidden world of digital currency. The more she mined, the more she read. Dr. Voss's paper, found on an abandoned university archive, detailed a theory that tied digital tokens to the entropy of biological systems. The tokens were a reflection of the chaotic yet orderly flow of life. They were low risk because they tapped into the background noise of existence, something constant and unexploitable. The currency was designed to be stable, to resist the wild swings of Bitcoin and the volatility of fiat money. Maya felt a mixture of awe and dread. Her newfound wealth could pay her mother's bills, buy groceries, and perhaps even invest in a small business. She could also make a difference, help others, but she also felt a strange responsibility. She realized the hidden currency was a mirror of the natural world. Mining it could have unforeseen consequences. If too many people started mining, the strain on the natural entropy could ripple through ecosystems. She felt a flicker of fear something powerful was being tapped, something that could upset the balance. One night, after a long day of work, Maya was scrolling through the forum where she first found the hidden currency. A new thread titled "The Hidden Asset and the Shadow Consortium" popped up. It spoke of a group of people who had discovered the same currency and were building a network of miners. They claimed they could use the tokens to create a decentralized banking system, free from governments. The thread was anonymous, but the tone was urgent, almost panicked. The final post had an image of a black silhouette holding a coin. The post was deleted in seconds. Maya felt her stomach turn. She thought of her mother, of the debt she was about to pay off. She thought of the idea of building a bank with her new currency. The temptation was strong. She could become an innovator, a pioneer. She could change the world, she thought, but at the same time a voice in her head said, "What if this thing is a trap? What if the more you mine, the more the world tilts? Are you ready to watch the world change because of a coin you mined from your phone?" She tried to rationalize. The coin was low risk, the script was small, the price of tokens had not skyrocketed, yet she felt a sense of looming pressure, an almost psychological heaviness that grew as she stared at her balance. The next morning Maya received a message from a new username, Zero Risk. The message was short: "We've seen you mining. We have an offer." The message ended with a link that led to a website that looked like a government agency, but the domain was unregistered. The page said, "Join our network. Unlock the true potential of the hidden currency." It was a call to a consortium that claimed to be building a new financial ecosystem. Maya was stunned. She typed a reply. "Who are you?" The reply came quickly. "We are the architects. We will help you. We have a code. We need you." The message contained the line, "Your next step, the algorithm." It's a script that can harvest the entire system. Maya hesitated. She looked back at her phone, the tiny script that had mined a fraction of a token. Now she was being asked to do something larger, something that could potentially flood the market. She considered her mother's condition, the debt, the desire to make a difference. She also thought of her own ethics, the potential environmental impact, the social consequences. She felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on her chest. She had been the protagonist in a small story. Now she had become part of a larger narrative that could either elevate humanity or bring it to ruin. She called her mother. "What if I could take care of you? What if I could give you medicine? What if I could help you?" Her voice trembled. "I'm not sure what this is. I'm scared." Her mother answered softly, "You're the strongest thing I know, Maya. If you can help yourself, you can help me." Maya hung up, heart racing. She stared at the script on her phone, at the tiny line of code that had made a difference. She realized the hidden currency was a gift, but also a responsibility. She could not ignore the moral implications. She could not ignore the fact that the system had a fragility. The currency, while low risk, was still an asset that could destabilize markets if misused. She took a decision. She would stop the script. She would delete the code. She would keep her Horizon token balance for herself, for her mother's medicine, for a small business idea that would employ others. She would not let the shadow consortium take over. She would not let the system change the world against her will. She would leave the world as it was, a small steady coin, not a storm. She logged onto the forum and wrote a post, "I'm not going to mine more. I'm staying with my balance. I won't join the consortium. I want to use this for the good of people I know. If you're here, please stop." She posted it with a heavy heart. The thread became a quiet conversation, a small chorus of users who wanted to stop. She deleted the script, closed the terminal. She turned off her phone's background processes. She set her phone to airplane mode. The quiet was profound. Days passed. Her balance grew slowly. She used it to buy medicine, to set up a small stall at the market, to help her mother. The market was small, but it was real. She could feel the weight of the hidden currency in her pocket, but it no longer felt like a trap. It felt like a lifeline. One evening, Maya sat on the rooftop of the building, watching the city lights flicker. She thought about the hidden currency, about the temptation it had offered, about the world that might have been if she had chosen otherwise. She wondered if the world had a hidden currency of its own, a system of small, unnoticed contributions that made life possible. She thought of her mother's smile, of the way the coin had changed her. She realized that money was more than numbers. It was a story, a thread that could connect people or divide them. She thought of the ethics of mining, the responsibility of using wealth. She understood that the hidden currency was not a weapon but a mirror. It reflected what people did with it. She closed her eyes and let her thoughts drift. The night air smelled like wet concrete. She felt a sense of release, a calm that came with a decision that had consequences. She had taken a risk. She had chosen to protect the balance, to use the coin responsibly. Later she looked up at the sky. Stars glimmered like tiny coins. She thought of the future, of the unknown. She knew that the hidden currency would stay hidden, waiting for the next ordinary person, the next desperate soul to find it. She also knew that the world would keep turning, and that the question of what we do with wealth would keep echoing. She smiled faintly, a feeling of quiet purpose settling in her chest. The coin in her pocket was small, but it had become her ally. She felt ready for the next step, not as a hero in a story, but as a participant in the larger human tale, knowing that the world is made of choices, of coins, and of ordinary acts that together weave the tapestry of life. She whispered to herself, "I'll keep this secret. I'll use it for good. That is all."
Found this interesting? Subscribe to the channel. Give this video a like, share it out, and drop your questions or ideas in the comments. Until our next adventure.